Now I can finally remove this case off. The first reaction I had when I saw this thing in person was, wow, this is really nice. This is the Nokia X30. Well, it's actually an unfinished software, but I've been using this as my daily driver for the past 3 weeks. And it's like somebody watched my ultimate mid-ranger video and decided they want to tick off as many boxes as possible off that list. So without further ado, here are my 6 favorite aspects of the Nokia X30. It's very stylish and built with premium yet recycled materials. Even though I generally prefer a symmetrical rear camera on the back, I just can't deny how stylish the X30 is. It uses my favorite combination of having an aluminum frame on the edges, which feels nice and premium in the hand, and a plastic back, and this time in this satin finish. And the cloudy blue version that I have here is a proper attention grabber, but so is the ice white version, which I also saw. And the aluminum has chamfered edges on almost every corner on this device, including the ports and especially on the metallic camera bump. All of this makes the X30 not look out of place next to devices that cost twice as much, and I think the design team deserves a lot of credit here. But the icing on the cake is that the aluminum used on the X30 is 100% recycled, and about 65% of the plastic used is recycled too. So it's stylish, feels premium, and is sustainable. Well done, HMD. The second reason is that the device is also durable. I like the metal frame plastic back combination because to me it's the most durable and logical combination of materials for a phone. So with a glass back, you're worried about shattering both the front and the back glass of your device. While here Nokia also used Gorilla Glass Victus on the front, which is quite good at staying intact even after it's dropped. On top of that, the X30 also comes with an IP67 water and dust resistance, so you won't have to worry about it falling into water by accident, for example. Of course, it isn't as durable as the XR20, but it's good to know that Nokia made all the right design decisions here to ensure that it's as durable as possible for its class of device. Number 3 is that it's fairly compact. As mid-range devices continue to grow in size year over year, it's becoming quite difficult to find one that isn't an absolute giant these days. So the X30 is a breath of fresh air here, as it's significantly smaller than your average 6.7-inch display mid-ranger. In fact, the X30 is smaller in almost every dimension compared to Nokia's own 5.4, which has a 6.39-inch display. And just look at how it compares against the X20 and 8.3. Now, this isn't as compact as Asus's fantastic Zenfone 9, for example, but it does find a nice sweet spot between that and your typical mid-ranger. The fourth reason is it has a very promising camera with PureView branding. On paper, the X30 has all the right ingredients to become a stellar camera phone. Its main sensor is a large 1/1.56-inch Samsung GN5 sensor, which is, by the way, the same one used on the Galaxy S22 and the S22 Plus, which are significantly more expensive than this. It has an aperture ratio of f1.88, and the most interesting feature is that it also has optical image stabilization. And to make full use of the camera, Nokia also added a couple of neat software tricks. These include dark vision, which helps the device capture bright images even in very dimly lit situations, capture fusion, which combines between the output of the 13-megapixel ultra-wide camera and the main camera to get better details in ultra-wide shots, especially near the center, and super portrait, which enhances sharpness and details when you're capturing faces. And the camera is protected by Gorilla Glass with DX+, which supposedly lets about 98% of all light come through to the lens. Even the camera interface received a significant design overhaul, which was much needed for sure. I've been capturing a lot of images on this prototype, and I'm gonna withhold my final judgment until later, but the results seem to be very promising so far. Number 5 is having a very nice display. The phone comes with a 6.43-inch AMOLED display with a full HD plus resolution and a 90Hz refresh rate. And it even comes with Pure Display technology, which enhances colors based on what you're watching. And it's a very nice display that doesn't skimp out on any of the features that you might require. And I like that the bezels at the top and the bottom seem to be almost symmetrical. It's just a great canvas to watch content on, and the display can get up to 700 nits of maximum brightness, so you shouldn't have any problems using this even under direct sunlight. And the final reason is that it provides a very nice balance between performance and battery efficiency. I've always been a huge advocate for balance over raw specs, and I think the X30 manages to find a very nice spot between performance and battery efficiency. Although I'm sure not everybody will manage to appreciate that balance. The phone is powered by the Snapdragon 695 5G chipset clocked at 2.2 GHz, and it's built on the 6nm architecture. It comes with up to 8 GB of RAM and up to 256 gigs of built-in storage, and it uses UFS 2.2. Inside is a 4200 mAh battery capacity, which can be charged at a speed of up to 33 watts. And Nokia Mobile is saying it's good for up to 800 recharge cycles without losing significant health of the battery. Now, when you take both the CPU and the battery capacity separately, they really aren't chart toppers by any means. There are plenty of devices that directly compete with the X30 that offer better performance on paper and will also come with larger battery capacities because they are larger in size. But based on my usage over the last couple of weeks, and do keep in mind that I'm using unfinished software, performance has been stellar all around, and the device manages to handle almost any task that you can throw at it with ease. It's also in part thanks to the very lightweight software experience that comes on this device, as it's running on stock Android 12. And while I wouldn't crown this as an endurance champion, it has consistently lasted me about a day and a half of usage with about 7 hours of screen on time. And I really appreciate that nice balance of consistent day-to-day performance and battery efficiency, a lot more than a theoretical advantage in benchmarks and getting a couple of extra frames here and there while you're playing games. This is especially true when you consider that the X30 is fairly compact, and it's very easy to mess up this balance when you're very limited by space. So anyway, what are the shortcomings of the X30, at least on paper? Unfortunately, it suffers from Apple syndrome, so there's no 3.5mm headphone jack or an SD card slot to expand on the built-in storage. And as I mentioned earlier, if you're looking for the ultimate performance device for the money or looking for an endurance champion, then there are plenty of other options to choose from. And finally, despite last year's Snapdragon 690 supporting 4K video recording, for some reason Qualcomm removed it from the newer Snapdragon 695 5G. So as a result, the X30 can't record 4K video. Just a Qualcomm thing. So that's the Nokia X30 at a glance, but I would love to hear what you guys think of this one. In my opinion, they pretty much nailed it. I can always find a reason to nitpick if I wanted to, but as an overall well-balanced device, I really love what they've done here on the X30. A stylish, compact, premium camera-centric device is pretty much what I always wanted. And this feels like the spiritual successor of the Lumia 830, which is another device that I really liked. Now, I'll always be bitter about the off-center camera because in my opinion, the central camera would have looked so much better on this and would have made it almost close to perfect. But there's always next year. If you want to see all the new devices that they announced today, check out my video here or check out my latest upload here. Thank you guys very much for watching. Please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe if you're enjoying my content, and I shall see you in the next one.